Tell us what you believe the 10th Amendment means.
Well, the 10th Amendment, I think that everything that I've said here tonight pretty much indicates a strong states' rights. The federal government is supposed to be minor to the states. It's the United States of America, okay, not the federal states of America. The states should, the Constitution is very direct about that, the federal government has only so many rights, and the rest are given to the states. So I'm a big believer in that. And by saying that, I think that we've done ourselves a big disservice, and I'm out to repeal the 17th Amendment, because the states do not have the representation anymore that we have, okay? I'm a big fan and advocate of states' rights, because under Article 1, Section 8, how many limitations are there to the federal government in Article 1, Section 8? 18. How many more throughout the Constitution?
None.
28.
Marquee and reprisal and things like that.
Yeah. Through limitations, provisions, limited. So yeah. If the federal government given those rights, it belongs to the states. Now, the states should be able to, if they want to provide health care, provide health care. If they want to provide, bail out money to industries, fine. That's the state's rights to do that. And the citizens of that state should be able to. One of the biggest problems that we have with the 17th is that we don't have good state representation. We just go out and elect anybody, not you, of course, but anybody that comes up. That they're not constitutional. Look at what we've had in the past assemblies and state senate. No wonder they gave the senators to the general population, and that's not the way that the balance should actually work. By having the senators return to represent the states, it's going to make you more aware of who you put in at the state level. And that's what we need. That's why, we have to be sure that these state senators and assembly people are constitutionalists. They know how to protect the state, and also the sheriffs. We have to make these people, everybody just, okay, we'll just select this guy. What does he stand for? What does she stand for? We've gone too long of letting uninformed, unpatriotic, majority of state legislators go, and here we are. We're in this big mess, and the states don't have any rights, and you have the federal government coming into Arizona suing it. What is this? So.
If you're in favor of the states' rights, I'm assuming you'd be opposed to what they're trying to do with the Electoral College. And if they manage to take it away, can we ever get it back?
To answer your last question, I don't know. I mean, if indeed they got rid of it, it'd be an interesting battle. I mean, no, I think that the Electoral College, I've heard the arguments both for and against it, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm for it because it does provide the balance, again, from the state level to electing the president.
Okay, moving on to some other issues. When do you believe life begins, and are you a proponent or a supporter of abortion?
I am not. Okay. See, what comes first, the egg or the question, right? I believe that life begins at conception, and I am pro-life 100%. I'm not for abortion. I would like to say 100%, but nothing is ever black and white, right? So I think my views are like 99%, and my 1% that may be for it, and that is if I have my wife and I've got 2 kids, and my wife is pregnant and she's looking at having a problem, and I could lose her. Now, if it's no kids, then I'm not for abortion. But if you've already have 2 kids that you have to take a look at, and there's a chance that you've got a birth problem, then I'm going to try to save my wife, okay? Because I'm a man and I need help raising kids. It's just that's the family, okay? And there's absolutely nothing black and white, I believe, that you have to be 100% for. There are circumstances. But the majority of circumstances that I see come for abortion clinics, I don't buy. So.
Any follow-up?
Any follow-up?
Could you pass a resolution to call murder instead of mislabeling it? Maybe that's why we're still murdering human beings in this country, this Christian country, is because we don't call it murder.
I think you're absolutely right. Let's call it what it is. It is murder.
I've been around animals all my life, and I know what abortion is. This is murder.
Yeah.
And all the churches, all the people that claim to be Christian don't call murder murder. How could we be murdering human beings in a Christian country this many years?
What you need to do is take a very in-depth history course on the pro-life clinics. Was it pro-choice clinics here in America? I forget the Planned Parenthood. Thank you. Take a look at their history and their founders.
They're murderers.
Very interesting historical documents are surfacing about relationships there.
Do you believe in gay marriage?
No, I don't. No, there's a little hesitation there. I believe that the Bible, I live by that, that God intended us to be for man and woman. Am I against homosexuality? No. That's again, here's, we live in America. You are free to practice what you want as long as you're not violating somebody else's civil rights. But no, I don't believe in gay marriage. Are there circumstances like, if you have a better half that gets, if you're in a hospital and should have access to you, okay, that's not really hurting anything. There's a lot of circumstances around there. It's not 100%, but I do think on the marriage side, no. Right now, my personal take on it is no. I'm not for it.
How about homosexuals adoption?
No. Children were meant to be raised in a woman-man relationship. I know. No. We could sit and talk about this all night. So
You want to get home, you're tired.